Good morning, everyone. Well, a small chance of rain during the day today in Iowa, but a better chance of rain expected tonight. So let's get right to your hour-by-hour forecast starting 8 a.m. this morning. And here's the small chance of rain underway this morning. Do have to mention the chance for some isolated showers. 8 a.m. looking like the most likely spots, though notice the gaps. But if we're going to see rain, it's going to be places like Mason City, Fort Dodge, Waterloo, Denison. That's where some isolated showers are going to be around for the morning commute. Now, this little line of isolated shower activity is going to be pushing to the south and east, but it's probably going to become less and less impressive. Look what happens when we jump ahead to 11 a.m., getting harder and harder to find those green dots as they push to the east. So I'm going to leave them the chance through the early afternoon hours, but I think by 2 o'clock that is it, and the rain chance going away. So from Denison, Fort Dodge, Mason City on over to the Quad Cities, I'll leave the tiniest of chances. But I tell you what, if we're not seeing rain in Denison, Fort Dodge, or Mason City, the chance is looking really slim in the far eastern part of the state. But I technically can't guarantee it's going to be dry today in the Quad Cities. So I'll leave it a chance to the early afternoon. By 2 o'clock, back to dry conditions across the entire state. Let's talk about high temperatures today. Pretty uniform. In general, a little bit warmer to the south and cooler to the north. So most of us are going to see high temperatures, upper 80s, low 90s, maybe a few spots in the far northern part of the state, only topping out in the mid 80s. Yesterday, the winds were pretty uniform across the state. Gusts were pretty common, around 30 miles per hour. Not as much wind today, but particularly in the western part of the state. And that's where gusts may only get up to about 15 miles per hour. But I'm going to call it breezy for central and eastern Iowa, where gusts are going to reach 20 to 25 miles per hour. Probably the breeziest conditions, those gusts around 25 miles per hour in the far eastern part of the state, so places like the Quad Cities. So, when is our next opportunity at rain? It is coming tonight, but it's going to take a while. I don't think the next round is going to start to push in until midnight tonight over in the far western part of the state, so places like Sioux City. That's when the rain chance starts up again. But look how many are still going to be dry at midnight. But this activity that's going to be pushing into the western part of the state is going to be spreading east as we go through the night. And this activity is going to be a little bit more widespread. Look what happens when we get to 4 a.m. Very late tonight or early tomorrow morning. Best chance will be in the central part of the state, probably the south central. That's kind of what's being honed in on as the best opportunity. This is going to be a combination of showers and storms late tonight, so I do have to mention there might be an early wake-up call. Some storms around. Not worried about any severe storms, but some heavy rain and lightning in spots, definitely a possibility. So let's talk about the morning commute tomorrow. Notice that the activity breaking up a little bit, but really there's a chance just about anywhere in the state for the morning commute, from western Iowa over to eastern Iowa, but gaps. So not a guarantee that you're going to see rain for the morning commute, but I do need to mention a chance just about anywhere in the state, but really transitioning back to isolate activity. So certainly some gaps around. And I do think that it's probably the morning hours that is our best chance of rain tomorrow. Look, as we get to noon, still activity around, but not as much showing up. And look at 4 o'clock as we transition to the late afternoon hours, very little showing up. So more in the morning than in the afternoon for sure, though the chance not completely going away. High temperatures tomorrow. So tomorrow the difference is going to be more east to west. The coolest temperatures, where we might only top out in the mid-80s, going to be in eastern Iowa. And as you go to the west, temperatures will transition to the upper 80s for highs and eventually the low 90s. Also, the winds are going to flip-flop tomorrow. So the strongest winds are going to be in central and western Iowa. Really, central Iowa is going to be about the same, gusts 20 miles per hour. But we're going to go back to gusts around 25 miles per hour for western Iowa for places like Sioux City. Meanwhile, catching a break from the wind in eastern Iowa, where gusts probably no higher than about 15 miles per hour or so in the far eastern part of the state. So this is 4 o'clock. Let's talk about Friday evening plans. I still got to mention the chance during the early evening hours, but notice there is not much showing up. I think more of us are going to be dry, but technically got to mention a small chance of rain still being there. I'll tell you what the better chance for Friday night is looking like after 10 o'clock or maybe even midnight. That's when activity will get a little bit more widespread in the state.